In the high Himalayas, where silence is older than stone, and winter carves its signature into every living thing, a quiet revolution is taking shape. Here, water is a memory in summer, a miracle in spring, and a question that decides the fate of entire villages. But in this land of extremes, one man listens to the mountains as if they were speaking directly to him. His name is Sonam Wangchuk, engineer, teacher, activist, a guardian of a fragile world. This is the story of how one idea, born from ice and sunlight, is reshaping the future of an entire people. Why this story matters. The Himalayas are warming faster than almost anywhere on Earth. Glaciers that once fed Ladakh's rivers are shrinking, and the people who depend on them face a future of uncertainty. Every year the snow melts earlier, every year the rivers run lower, and every year the question grows louder. How will Ladakh survive? But in the midst of this crisis, one man has chosen not to despair, but to innovate. This is not just a story about climate change. It is a story about courage, creativity, and the power of a single mind determined to make a difference. A land of extremes. Ladakh is a place of contradictions. A cold desert where temperatures plunge to -30, yet the sun burns with fierce intensity. A land where monasteries cling to cliffs, where prayer flags dance in the wind, and where communities have survived for centuries by reading the rhythms of nature. But today those rhythms are breaking. Spring arrives too early, rivers run too low, and the ancient balance between people and landscape is slipping away. To understand the solutions, we must first understand the land, because in Ladakh, every idea begins with the mountains. Early life of Sonam Wangchuk. Sonam Wangchuk was born in these mountains, shaped by their silence, their severity, and their sense of possibility. As a child, he struggled in school, not because he lacked intelligence, but because the system lacked imagination. He learned early that education, when disconnected from real life, can become a barrier instead of a bridge. This realization stayed with him. It grew quietly, like a seed waiting for the right season, and when the time came, that seed would transform the lives of thousands. SECMOL, Reinventing Education. In 1988, at just 21 years old, Sonam founded SECMOL, the students' educational and cultural movement of Ladakh. It was not a school in the traditional sense. There were no rigid classrooms, no rote memorization, no fear of failure. Instead, students learned by doing. They built their own campus. They designed solar-heated buildings. They cooked, farmed, debated, and experimented. SECMOL became a sanctuary for those the mainstream system had labeled failures. Here they discovered they were anything but. They were innovators, builders, problem solvers. SECMOL was more than an institution. It was a revolution. The water crisis. But even as SECMOL grew, another crisis loomed. Every April, when farmers needed water the most, the stream ran dry. Winter held the water in ice. Summer brought it too late. And spring, the season of sowing, was left thirsty. Fields withered, harvests shrank, villages struggled. Sonam asked a simple question. What if winter's water could be saved for spring? What if the mountains themselves could help solve the problem they created? The birth of the Ice Stupa, the answer became the Ice Stupa. A towering cone of frozen water built without electricity. In winter, water is piped into the air, where it freezes instantly in the sub-zero cold. Layer by layer, a stupa of ice grows, sometimes reaching over 100 feet tall. And when spring arrives, the stupa melts slowly, releasing water exactly when the fields need it. A sculpture of survival, a monument to ingenuity. A reminder that solutions do not always require machines. Sometimes they require imagination. Scaling innovation. From Ladakh to the world, the Ice Stupa captured global attention. From the Alps to the Andes, communities facing similar challenges began to adapt the idea. Sonam's work proved that local solutions can inspire global change. activism, a voice for the mountain. But innovation alone is not enough. Ladakh's fragile ecosystem needs protection. Sonam has become a voice for the mountains, calling for sustainable development, for ecological safeguard, and for the rights of the people who live closest to the crisis. His activism has come at a cost, but he continues because the stakes are too high to remain silent. The man behind the mission, quiet strength. Despite his global recognition, Sonam lives simply. He believes in the power of community, the wisdom of tradition, and the responsibility each generation holds to leave the world better than they found it. His life is a reminder that leadership is not about authority, but about service. The future. Hope melts into action. The Himalayas are changing, but so are the people who call them home. Sonam's work is not finished. It is only beginning. And the question that remains is not, what will he do next? But what will we do with the inspiration he has given us? One idea can save a mountain.